Good morning, welcome to Snow Talk. Brian Good here on this Thursday. I'm not going to be able to do a roll-on video today. I plan on hopefully doing a Facebook Live tomorrow morning because I will be out all of next week. So I'm sure I'll be on social media, but I'll be missing out on a lot of that craziness next week. Just let me relax before I get into all the crazy stuff later this summer, right? 47 now. We've got the showers kind of passing through the area so far today. They will continue to drift off to the east till the front moves in around midday, early afternoon, and then we'll dry out as we head into tonight. This is a minor rain event, but it hopefully gets you in for a nap today. Let's look at the pattern here as the Euro. We'll start off on Monday. We begin our warming trend, windy and warm. There's precipitation in the blue and the green, and underneath that, all this blue and yellow is the temperature profile aloft. Let's move it along. Here we go, Tuesday morning. Cold front moves in. Maybe some thunderstorms with that. I mean, timing right now is a morning event for the passage, and I'm not seeing a lot of instability to work with here, but it's still early, so we'll play that out as we get closer. Here comes the cold air behind it, changing over to snow. Now, there is going to be an area of low pressure that drops to the south that is going to try to ride along the front. So the angle of this front, or the angle of the trough, is important because depending on that angle and how quickly that little impulse rides on the front, it'll create a little ripple, a little wave of moisture that'll kind of, backbuild behind the front as it rides along it. And if the front's still close enough to us, we may catch a ride on that, or at least feel some of that graze as it breezes by. If the front is too angled to the more of an angle to the right, then that little impulse will miss us altogether. And of course, if the front's too fast compared to the impulse, then we won't see anything. So it's still questionable on this little extra wave, at least when I mention it, as we head into about Tuesday night into Wednesday morning there. In general, you could see the impact sort of from it, where it tries to enhance some of the snowfall as it breezes. At this point, it's already up here. So it's a quick little hit system. And then we got the upper low digging in. Here comes your backlash snowfall, and this is a light snow as we head into Thursday, potentially. This setup. This is a clipper type deal, not a big snow. And then it rotates out, and then we get into the core of the cold. And notice the trough is trying to leave us at this point, trying to leave here. Couple things with that. If that were to be the case, and again, this is just one model's idea, but that would put us more into clipper land for one, for that following weekend. But it would eliminate any issue of a phasing system in the Gulf, as that would not happen, as the trough would kind of reset itself. So Euro idea is more of a lighter snow look to it if we were to go there already. And we're not ready to go there on snowfall and amounts and all that, but it has a lighter clipper snowfall look to it. Cold air, the bigger headline. The GFS, let's look at it. Same story, but notice the angle of the front, a little more sharper to the right. So it has that impulse that rides along it, but because of that, it kind of just grazes south and east of us there. The other one was, the Euro was kind of a little more eastern Kentucky. This one's a little more to the south and mainly higher elevations. So I guess it's something we'll watch. It's a little interesting feature there. It moves on out as we head into Thursday night into Friday, as you'll see here in a second. And then we get it also beginning to pull out enough that we get more into clipper land for now on the GFS side of things until it tries to reinforce the trough again. This one could be a little more organized of a clipper, but still looks like a clipper. I still don't see a lot of signs here of a phasing system yet. That trough, the moisture belt, if you will, the train tracks still being generally in our area. That keeps us in. If you like light snow, it's easy to get around in, more of that festive snow and flurries, stuff like that. Both models hint that we may be in that zone for this cold outbreak versus anything substantial. All right, so that's the two model ideas. Let's look at the ensembles now. It's GFS, Euro, and the Canadian. And you see the energy on the Canadian. It shows it pretty good there. How it holds it back. This is the one that went right up that front. Either way, let's look at the ensembles as we head into, I believe this is Monday. We start to see the effects of it dropping in. You can even see the angle of the front here on the ensembles. The Euro is sharper with that tilt versus GFS a little flatter there. Once we head into the core of the cold, and about Thursday, Euro is deeper on the operational run. The ensemble is fairly good agreement. Euro is not as cold or not as deep with the cold weather, mainly because of this kind of messing things up there. But I think really GFS, the two global ones here, are in decent agreement on how the core of the trough will take place. And that does look to me, ensembles, it puts us in definitely that clipper light snow terrain there. And then as we head into just after that following weekend, on the operational you see it more. The Euro begins to pull the trough up more. GFS does, but also shows it reinforcing itself at the same time, and even ensembles begin to lift it out. I do see it relaxing in the troughness. I think it's going to attack us, sit for a couple days, and then it's going to kind of ease up back to the north and eastern Canada just a bit. Now, that could very well, we got highs in the 30s basically across the board, maybe a day in the 20s, but that relaxation that happens, it may allow us to get in the 40s. That is possible, depending on how much it gets relaxed. However, it does look like it wants to build back in and head back to the south as we head toward the 15th of the month. So any relaxation would be temporary, and then it may come on, and the second time it attacks could be worse. And at that point, we're only 10 days away from Christmas, and things could get interesting. So we see this as a long-lasting cold event. I just don't think it's going to be bitterly cold, 20s and 30s constantly. I do see a situation where we'll see a little bit of a fluctuation there with the chunk of the polar vortex, is what it is, in eastern areas of Canada. So how I'm going to trend this in snowboard, well, I'm going to account for that little ripple that may give us a rain or snow shower Wednesday morning. That's still iffy. Otherwise, I think we'll get into that clipper zone. I think we'll be fine Thursday, but Friday and Saturday, maybe some light snow and clippers could move through. And then during the relaxation, I'm going to cut out the snow chance part for a little bit, and then as it tries to come back in for an attack, it may develop a decent storm, so that could be something to watch. But that's all it looks now today, guys. I mean, you guys want to know about snow and all that, I get that, but snow forecasting and these kind of events, I mean, other than clippers and kind of get an idea that there would be some energy rotating in and it's going to be cold, it's a no-brainer. It's a light snow flurry type of deal. But as far as the big snows, the winter storms, those are not going to show up 2 weeks out. It's going to be a much closer range, and so we've got to be patient when it comes to those. But as always, I'm watching it carefully, and as soon as you see me get real excited about something coming our way, then you should get excited. And right now, I'm all right. All right, I think festive light snow showers and flurries, that's perfect timing for December. I'm okay with that. But as far as the big snow, I don't see anything that shows that for me right now. So hang tight, guys. It's going to be a wild ride.